Alright, hello guys. Welcome. Happy New Year. Welcome to Little Stitch by Amara. So today I'll be showing us how I made this little Ankara for a 6-year-old. I hope you enjoy every bit of it. I hope you keep pushing and know that the year is still very young and we can achieve all that we set our heart to. Thank you. So right here, I'll be working with this measurement, even though my client didn't send measurements to me. So I just assumed this dress here is for a 6-year-old. I'm working with 8 yards of net, 2 yards of bridal, then a yard and a half of Ankara, even though it was remaining, my zipper and thread for the project. So here the shoulder I used 10.5. So right now I'm just going to go ahead now and cut my upper bodice. Like I said, I formulated the measurement. Since my client is not based here, I had to just look for a child around that age, twist it in such a way to suit her, and thank God it was her perfect size. So guys, I'm going to just draft out the upper bodice, the front block, and next go to the back block, then the lower part. That's just it. It's not so much of a big deal. So the half length I'm working with here is 11, but I'll be marking out 12. I'll use the remaining 1 inch for sewing and joining allowance. So I've marked out my 12 inches in length, half length, remember, from the shoulder to the half, close to the navel. So the shoulder I'm working with here is 10.5. So I went ahead to divide by 2. I marked out my shoulder line. Then from there I came down by 5.5 for the armhole. So I'm just going to form my armhole there. You know the dress is not going to have a sleeve. So I'm just going to go down and mark out the chest measurement, the waist measurement, and I guess that's all. So I brought down the 5.25 I used for my shoulder down for my chest measurement. So for the neckline I used 3 by 2.5 3 by 2.5. For dresses like this, especially these ones that were measurements were not sent, it is better to be too big than to be smaller than the child. So if it is too big, you can easily amend it. So I am so happy this was her exact size. All these white children, I was scared whether she will be bigger than the age or smaller than the age. I was just skeptical about it, but I'm glad it was a perfect size. So now, after that, I came down for the chest measurement and marked out the chest measurement I'm working with. I'm working with chest 23. The waist, I'm going to be using the same 23. So I divided 23 by 4 and I had less than 6 inches. So that is what I'll be working with. So I think I'm done with the front bodies. I'll now go ahead and mark out the back bodies. There will be no much difference here because I'm not doing any special thing behind, just that the neckline will be a bit lower than the front part. Then I'm going to be leaving 1 inch allowance for my zipper. So I just went ahead and placed the front block on the back bodice. Then I'm going to just cut out exactly as it is. So after that, I went ahead to mark out how low I want the back neckline to be, how deep I want it. I think I used 7 inches. So I gave it V, like VU kind of neckline, not really pointed V, and not curvy as a U. So I used my pattern ruler to get that shape. I didn't want it to be a pointed V, and I didn't want the U to be too curved. So I'm just going to go ahead now and cut out the neckline, then do the same thing for my lining, and that's all. So for the flay on top of the lower bodies, I'm just going to go ahead now and use the same waist measurements to cut out the flay, just that it will be a short one, since it's just around the waist. It's not supposed to be long. I think I used 7 inches in length, plus joining and bending allowance and turning allowance. So I divided the 23 by 6.28. I got 3.6. So that's exactly the measurement I'll be working with here. So guys, if this is your first time coming across this channel, please do well by subscribing. Thank you. So I marked out 5, because it's not going to be the exact waist measurement. I had to pleat it, form some kind of tiny pleats around it. So instead of cutting 3.6 inches, I cut out 5 inches. So the remaining one will be for the extra that I will use in pleating, forming my pleat. So I'm just going to go ahead now and mark out my 7 inches all round. Remember, I said the 7 inches is plus the bending and joining allowance. So by the time I'm done bending and joining, I'll be left with, let's say, less than 6 inches or thereabout. So the flay is not supposed to be long, so it can sit properly and curve well. So now I'm just going to go ahead now and cut out. After cutting out, you see the waist is wider than the actual waist measurement, because I'm supposed to form some kind of pleat around it. So for the lower bodies, I went ahead and used the same waist measurement to cut out 180-degree flay. For the first flay, I cut out 360, sorry. But for this one, I'll be cutting out 180. So I'll be dividing 23 by 3.14. So as such, I'll be getting 7 point something thereabout. So I'll be using that measurement now to cut out my 180 flay. This is my usual method of getting a ball dress. So if you've been with me all along, you should be used to this by now. But if you are new to this channel, please do well by checking our previous videos where I explained this extensively, so in case you do not know. Please, if this is your first time tuning into our channel, please do well by hitting the subscribe button, please comment. If it's a question, please post, I will answer, please. Then I'm gonna head to cut out my 180 flay, my half flay. So I'm just going to go ahead now and mark out where I'll be placing my net. So my net, I always sew them in layers, just to achieve that fullness. So I'm going to go ahead now and mark out different parts where I'll be placing my net. I think I will be having about 5 layers of net here. 5 layers, yes. Remember I said I used 8 yards of net for this project, and the child in question is 6 years old. So now after the first layer I came down by 1 inch. After that I came down by 1.5 inches. After that, just watch as I mark. So after doing this, now just go ahead and cut out the net in the different in the length respectively. As I'm marking out this as I'm marking out my fabric, I'm going to go ahead now and cut out my net for these layers as it is. Remember I said this is to achieve fullness. Ball dress is not ball dressing if it is not full, if it is not standing. So now I went ahead, or I'm about to cut out my net in different lengths and layers, just like I marked on the fabric on my flea. So after cutting here, I'll just go ahead now and gather them on my net. It's as simple as ABC. I keep explaining this particular aspect because I know it is a serious issue to most people. If you still do not understand it here, you can go ahead and watch our previous videos where I mentioned how to make a ball dress fuller without hard net. Yes, I guess that's the name of the video. So guys, happy new year once again. I hope this year favors us. I hope it blesses us. I hope we make out something from it. I hope we do not procrastinate. I hope we meet our goals and targets for this year. If you've been planning to learn how to make dresses for your children, you can keep watching. There's no how you watch this 2 or 3 times that you will not grab something. It is not possible. It is not. So I'm cutting out the net in different layers, like I said. You see how I'm taking my time to do this aspect, even though I already have a video on it, but I still do not want you to be lost. So this is the remaining part of the net, so I'm just going to use this and sew. Look for a line there and impute this in so it doesn't waste and to still help us achieve fullness. So now I think I have 5 layers of net for 5 different inches. So you see it is 5. 1 2 3 4 5. Welcome to my sewing table. This is where all the magic happens. So I went ahead now to add interface facing to my materials. This cloth is traveling outside the country. It's an Oyibo girl that is wearing it, so it has to be okay. So after adding my interfacing, I used hairstay for the front and back bodies. Then for the flay, I used soft paper flay. So now I'm going to go ahead now and turn my neckline and my armhole. I'm going to turn them neatly. especially when someone referred you. It is good to always give your best. Yes, I was referred and I'm happy about it because someone found me worthy to recommend me to somebody. Ah, my God. Okay, guys, so like I said, the dress will not be having a sleeve, so I just had to turn the neckline, turn it inside out. So I'm going to use this now to turn the back bodies. Then I'm going to go ahead and iron them out neatly and everything looking very nice. So I'm trimming out the excess so it doesn't make it look bulky around the neckline. So as you can see, I'm done turning the neckline. I'm just going to go ahead now and press open. When you see me sewing hurriedly like that without pressing at that point, just know it's either I don't have light or I'm just trying to rush up something for my girl to wear to church. Then later in the night I can now press it. So it is not my fault when you see most of my dresses looking roughly made. And my dear, I'm a nursing mom, so most times my baby does not allow me do all those things, but I just need to upload video. But I'll try. This year I will try. So I'm done ironing them out. So I'm just going to turn my back bodies with the front line, with the front bodies, the armhole. You know how I always turn my armhole. This is my signature pattern. So I placed the back over the front and I'm just going to go ahead now and sew the armhole, just cover it up. I'm done turning. I'm trying to trim off the excesses so it doesn't form a bulge around there. So you can see how neatly turned it is. I'll now go ahead and iron out the armhole so it can lay flat. I'll do the same thing for the other side. So I'm done doing it. I'm done turning out my armholes, both the left and the right. So I went ahead to iron it down. You can see how neatly finished it is looking. So after that, now I'm going to go ahead to attach my net to the fillet accordingly, depending on how it was cut from the lowest down up to the highest. So I'm just going to gather it around the lines I earlier marked. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll keep gathering until I get to the last layer, which is the one on the waistline. So this is the only way you can achieve fullness. Well, it's not the only way though, but I think I prefer this pattern. So I'm on to the last layer. You can see me. Remember I said I used 8 yards of net for this project. So this is the last layer and I'm gathering my net on the last layer. So I'm done gathering and see how beautiful it is already. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach the flay, the short flay, the Ankara flay to this. Remember I said I added an interfacing just to make it a little firm. So I'm going to attach this to the net. So I went ahead to notch the midpoint of my flay. As you can see, I notched the midpoint, and now I'm going to start sewing from that midpoint so it can be evenly distributed, so one side does not look fuller than the other side. So I'm just going to pleat now on this side, then pleat on the other side. So I'm done pleating on it for this side. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Just this is so one side doesn't look fuller than the other. So after doing this, I'll now go ahead and attach my upper bodies to this, to the lower bodies, and our dress is ready. You must not use Ankara for this. You can decide to use another material to achieve this, and you can just be creative. Just do something out of the ordinary. This is just an inspiration. So you can see how I'm taking my time so I don't lose guard. So now just went ahead now to join the upper bodies. I'm going to shapen it to the child's actual measurement. Then after that, I'll now go ahead and join it to the lower bodies. Then after doing that, I attach my zipper and our dress is ready. Remember I said I used 23 for both the chest and the waist measurement. Please, if this is your first time tuning into our channel, please do well by subscribing, comment, like, and share. So you can see how beautiful our dress is inside and out. This is so neat and beautiful. So now I'm just going to trim out this extra so it doesn't cause confusion. Then after trimming this out, I'm going to knot the midpoint so I can join my dress from midpoint to midpoint, so one side doesn't become longer than the other. See, now I went ahead and notched it. So I'm going to attach Ankara to Ankara, then lining to lining. Please, if you're confused at any point, please do not hesitate to ask questions. I will answer as soon as I see it. Please. Support this little girl, support this lady by sharing, liking, and commenting on our videos. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you guys for the support so far. I hope we do better this year, and I promise to do better. I hope you do better on your own path. So keep watching. Do not give up. Do not get tired. So now I'm going to go ahead and join the zipper. After joining my zipper, okay, as you can see, our zipper is available and ready to be used. So guys, I'm just going to join the zipper, and wow, woo, our dress is super ready and ready to meet its owner. So you know how I always join my zipper? I sew on the material, then turn with the lining. If you are still not clear about this, please check the previous videos where I did an extensive explanation about this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, see our dress. See our dress. It's so beautiful. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you.